Okay, and welcome back. So today I'm gonna taste two beers that are the same. Now let me explain. So I was going through my cellar. By cellar I mean just collection of old beer, and I came across a bottle of Galway Bay's of Foam Fury, which is the first proper double IPA ever produced in Ireland. O'Hara's did get their first double IPA, but it's only 7%. It sort of borders on what you might consider double IPA versus IPA. It's sort of on the cusp. It's, they kind of overlap at that point. So Galway Bay released a Foam Fury in 2013, late 2013, early 2014. It was around about that time. It was immense, 8.5% double IPA. It was, I figured might as well go out and buy a modern Foam Fury and try it. But I have heard that people are saying that the newest version of Foam Fury isn't quite as good as it used to be. Of course, the original Foam Fury was from a completely different brewer who has now left, and Galway Bay have gone on and made other double IPAs of 8.5-9%, which are better and have surpassed a Foam Fury. But it has changed over the years, but I haven't had it. I don't know. I don't think I've had a Foam Fury in about 2 years. So I picked one up the other day, and I'm going to try it side by side with an older one. So let's go to the fridge and see what we get. Move my light over here. I've only got the one light today, actually. I don't have the main light, which is normally over here. So into the beer fridge. Nice. These two here. Here's the old Foam Fury. Nice. So, a Foam Fury. On the left, in the green, we have a Foam Fury Double IPA, which is the new one, and then we have the original bottle right here. So, I reckon I'll start with the old one first. So move this over here. I'll do the same as glass. So go into that one. So. Clearly unfiltered, but that's what it says on the bottle. So it's sort of a murky orange sort of thing going on. So for a 2-year-old beer, especially one that's hop intensive, and that's what it's going for. There's still a good aroma of it. It's not as punchy as I recall. It used to be far more tropical fruits and mango and fun sort of resins going on. And it is bitter. It's still bitter. In fact, it's more bitter than I remember because it's lost a lot of that fruity sort of hop note. It's kind of more bitter than. Right, I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to open up the other one and see how we differ. Okay. Okay, well instantly. And we'll take a look at this now. I did perhaps pour this a little bit on the, a little bit too much. It doesn't look as dark, actually. I don't know if it's a difference in the glass or what. Well, definitely two very different looking beers. So this is much, it's much brighter, much more yellow and straw versus the murky orange. So it's far more punchy than this. But this is also different than what I remember. It's zestier, I suppose. It's more it's fruitier.
Yeah, it's punchier, it's dank, it smells like Amsterdam. Bit of that wacky tobacco, smells like catnip. So it's definitely different than I remember it. So a Foam Fury, two things that were synonymous with Foam Fury were the big tropical fruit flavors, pine resins, and a big chewy body. So let's go back to this. I won't get any of that pine resin or tropical flavor off this. It's mostly gone, but the body on this it's big, bold, and chewy. It's much lighter. It's a very different sensation. There's an almost chalkiness to this one, and this one's more sort of slightly oily, perhaps. So yeah, this is sort of a bit more on the lemon citrus side, grapefruit, and while there is some tropical notes there, it's very, very different to what I remember from the original Foam Fury. All I can say is it's a different beer, but of course it's a different beer. It looks different, completely different. It's got different hops, except for one. So Simcoe is the only one that's remained. Otherwise, all the hops have changed. So really, other than the name and the 8.5% ABV and the Simcoe, this is a different beer than what was released all those years ago. I wonder if this bottle from 2016 is different again from what I remember. There's a conundrum now, because there's no way for me to know unless I had done this video in 2016 to a 2013 or 2014 bottle, or whatever the first bottle that Galway Bay released was, because this has lost 2 years of hop freshness, and that's an interesting one. But let's just assume, for argument's sake, that bottle that was in 2016 tasted the same as what I started off with when I first had my first of Foam Fury. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of people in Ireland remember the first of Foam and Fury. Either late 2013 or early 2014 of Foam and Fury came out. And the reason I know this is because it was definitely out in 2014, around about July or August, because I brought the European Beer Bloggers Conference to Dublin that year. So a lot of beer bloggers from around Europe, and indeed the US, and I think Brazil as well, or maybe a few other places, but yeah, for the most part, European beer bloggers came to Dublin. And the way that format used to work is on the Thursday, so the conference was Friday and Saturday, so on the Thursday night, the host, which was me in this case, would bring beer bloggers around, or the host city, in this case Dublin, and bring them to pubs, whatever, bars, basically, should we call it a pub crawl, if we were going to be crude about it. So a pub crawl around the host city. So in 2014, I hosted the pub crawl and brought people around Dublin. And one of the highlights for everybody who was on the pub crawl, and indeed for that entire weekend in Dublin, was a Foam and Fury. It blew people's minds, especially people who, obviously people who were from other countries. For instance, so beer writer Matthew Curtis likened a Foam and Fury, would have been this iteration of Foam and Fury, to Pliny the Elder from Russian River. And that's high praise, because Pliny the Elder is just a world-class double IPA. Honestly, it's not the best thing that Russian River do. It wasn't my favorite when I was there back in 2012, I think it was. But it's a bloody good beer. People say that, Foam Fury it's shit these days. It's not shit. It's really, really tasty. A Foam Fury was always really easy to drink, dangerously easy, and this is actually probably easier. If I'm to liken this to any kind of other kind of beer, I'd almost go like, it doesn't look like a Northeast IPA or a New England IPA, whatever you want to call it, but it certainly has some of that juiciness to it. This kind of sweet, fruity, juicy sort of thing. So it's less bitter, perhaps. Less bitter. It is still bitter, but it's just that juicy sort of quality. And I actually am not a big fan of juicy IPAs. I prefer a thicker body, you know, I prefer something that can almost chew. And I love bitterness. I don't like NEPAs because NEPAs tend to just taste like a carton of juice or a can of juice. And they have no bitterness, and they have nothing that really reminds me of beer. This does remind me of beer. It's perfectly bitter, but it's just that juiciness. It's too juicy for what we remember as a proper Foam Fury. But definitely not shit. It is a lovely beer. There we have it. We have a 2016 Foam Fury, and we have a 2018 Foam Fury. And both are delicious. I'm going to enjoy these two lovely and very different double IPAs that are called the same thing from the same brewery. Sure, hit the subscribe button. Why don't you? Hit the little bell to get instant notifications of when I upload a new video, and hit the like button. Please hit the like button, actually, because it does make a difference. I will see you next time. Good night.